I notice more and more how many women live in a state of waiting, waiting for a message, waiting for clarity, waiting for guarantees. From the outside, it looks very proper, almost mature. I just want clarity. But if you look honestly inside, it's not about clarity. It's about tension, about constant checking. Am I important? Will I be chosen? Will I disappear if he leaves? I've seen this in others, and I've lived it myself. It's a state where life feels paused. You seem to be living, but all your attention is somewhere else. He doesn't text, and the world feels smaller. He pulls away, and a cold appears in your body. And very often, in this moment, a woman thinks that the problem is him, his uncertainty, his avoidance, his silence. But the truth starts a little deeper. When a woman reaches for a man who doesn't give answers, doesn't define, avoids, it's almost never about him. It's about her inner support. Because when there is no inner support, any uncertainty becomes a threat, and any distance becomes a catastrophe. I've heard the phrase many times. He just doesn't give me guarantees. But no other person can give you the guarantee that you don't have inside yourself. And this is where I first saw a very painful pattern. If I love myself by 10%, I will unconsciously expect others to love me by 90%. That someone must confirm my value, keep me emotionally stable, not pull away, not disappear, not change. Because otherwise, I will fall apart. And then any pause feels like a threat. Any silence feels like rejection. Any uncertainty feels dangerous. Not because it's love, but because inside there is emptiness. When you dissolve into another person, you disappear. Not immediately, not noticeably, but very quietly. First, you adjust, then you wait, then you move yourself aside. And one day you catch yourself thinking that without this person, you don't know who you are. And if he leaves, you disappear with him. That's when anxiety appears. Strong, destructive, the kind that is so often called love. I've seen women call this love, but in reality, it's dependency disguised as feeling. It's an illusion the mind creates when there is no inner support. A pink filter we pull over ourselves so we don't have to see reality. We idealize. We fill in the gaps. We assign qualities to a person that were never truly there. And then we're surprised by how painful it feels when that filter is torn away. For a long time, I confused pain with love, jealousy with depth, suffering with closeness. But if you feel unbearably bad after a breakup, it has nothing to do with love. It's about a wounded part of you that lost its support. Because love does not destroy. Love does not hold you through fear. Love does not require you to disappear, so you won't be abandoned. Love is when the other person can leave and you remain. And here I return again to this formula. When I don't fill myself, I expect someone else to fill me. When I don't hold myself, I expect someone else to be my support. When I don't love myself, I expect others to love me instead. And when that doesn't happen, I collapse. I understood something very simple, but very hard. If I were whole, half-hearted behavior would not be allowed with me. People always sense whether you can leave, whether you can tolerate rejection, whether you will break if you are not chosen. And if you can't tolerate it, if someone begins to control, someone relaxes, someone stops choosing their words, not because they are bad, but because you gave away your power. I no longer ask myself, why does he behave this way? I ask, where am I not holding myself? Where did I give away responsibility for my own value? Where am I waiting to be rescued? Now I look less at whether I am chosen and more at whether I choose myself, whether I can be alone with myself without escaping into someone else's presence, whether I can support my own life without clinging to someone out of fear, whether I can tolerate not being chosen without collapsing. And I see how much anxiety disappears when this inner foundation appears. When I love myself not by 10%, but at least by 50, I no longer need others to love me by 90. Then love becomes a choice, not a condition for survival. I say this to name things as they are, because as long as we call dependency love, we will keep confusing pain with feeling. And clarity is also a form of self-love. I run this channel as a space for living reflections about anxiety, relationships, inner support, and adulthood. No right advice, no illusions, only honesty and clarity. If this resonates with you, subscribe. Maybe these conversations will help you hear yourself more clearly